Welcome back to another video where I'm going to give you my 5 top reasons why I'm upgrading to the Nikon Z6 Mark II, and one of the big advancements which Nikon has made and nobody is talking about it still. Yes folks, in this video I'm going to give you my top 5 reasons why I've pre-ordered the Nikon Z6 Mark II. Now this hopefully will help you guys decide whether it's for you or whether it's not for you. You might already have the Z6 and are considering upgrading to the Z6 Mark II, or you might be thinking about getting the Z system itself. So hopefully this might give you some information and help you choose either way. So I'm going to kick it off with one of the most important things that I'm looking for out of the Mark II, and that is the autofocus. I'm really hoping to see a really great improvement, and I think we will. Nikon, after each firmware, have improved the autofocus on the Z6, and I think coming to the Mark II, I think they would have stepped it up again. I'm hoping it's going to be kind of on par with the D500 that I've used, probably one of the best autofocusing cameras I've ever used, so I'm hoping it's kind of on that level, and if that's the case, it's just going to round off this camera absolutely superbly. So I'm excited to see the improvements on the autofocus. Number 2 in my list is the USB-C powering. Now I shoot a lot of product photography in the studio. Having to swap out the batteries can be a little bit of a pain. But whilst I'm tethering to the computer, that cable is going to be powering the camera, so no need to worry about swapping out any batteries or having a battery run out and having to swap it over. So I'm really excited. That is a small thing, but it's one thing that I'm looking forward to using in the studio when I'm shooting products. Third on my list is having 4K 60. I know this is coming through the firmware update in February, but it's still going to be a really nice addition to have to the camera, and one that I'm going to really enjoy using, especially being able to slow that 4K footage down and crop into the video as well. It's going to be super handy to have. Number 4, again, another one that I'm really excited about, is the eye autofocus in video. Now I think this is going to make a huge difference when I'm shooting video. I know obviously it already does a great job focusing on the face, but obviously being able to focus on the eye and pinpoint the focus is going to make a big difference, and it's going to allow me to kind of not have to worry about manual focus, I'm hoping. So I'm really excited to check that out when it comes. Just a lot of these little incremental updates I'm excited about. So yeah, that's number 4, that's the eye detect in video. Now my last, and by no means least on the list, number 5, is the dual X-speed processors. Now this is going to make this camera a lot more snappier, a lot quicker, obviously increasing the buffer rate, but I'm more focused on how it's going to improve the autofocus of the camera. I think adding that extra processor is just going to speed that up and make it a lot more snappier, and it's going to allow Nikon to, even in the new firmware updates, add a few more additions to the camera as well, having that extra power there. So it's just going to keep updating the firmware and adding things which I think are going to make a huge difference to the cameras going forward. Now you'll realise I haven't touched on the dual card slot or the battery grip, which everybody was whinging about and complaining about back in the day. I'll tell you now, going forward, and even in the past, the second card slot has always just been used for an overflow. I've always just used it for an overflow and never for a backup, and I'll be continuing to do the same with the Z6 Mark II. So the dual card slot doesn't really bother me because the XQD and the CF Express cards are really reliable. The battery grip, great addition, allows you to shoot a little bit more, but with being able to power this camera from the USB-C port, is it really needed? For me, no. Again, it's just extra weight and extra bulk to carry around, something that never bothered me the first time around, something that's never bothered me on a DSLR either, because obviously I've just rather carry batteries in my pocket than bulking out with another battery grip on the bottom of the camera. So never bothered me at all. I mean, there's so many people out there still hating on the Z6 and the new release of the Z6 Mark II. Mainly all the big YouTube influencers out there, but purely for their own gain. It's just to make headlines and to get people to click and watch their video. The thing is, all the tech nerds want stuff yesterday, and the impatience that is kind of comes with new technology is insane. Nikon are playing the long game, so they're taking the time and they're building a super strong foundation. The one huge asset that Nikon have that nobody has been talking about much is the ZMount system. Nikon, out of all of the camera manufacturers, are the only ones who have really been innovating. Now all the eye autofocus, and that's been out for a while. I know Nikon are catching up a little bit with that, but they will through software. It's no doubt that they will catch up with that in the long run. They're going to. But all the other camera manufacturers eventually are probably going to fall behind in the optical quality that they're going to be able to offer. Nikon have increased their flange size to allow more light into their cameras, which is going to produce better quality images. Now, if you haven't used the Z system and you haven't even had a go at their kit lenses are absolutely phenomenal. I'm talking about the 16 to 55 on the Z50, the 24 to 70 on the Z6, which shipped with the Z6, even the 55 to 200 on the Z50. These are like DX crop sensor lenses, but the image quality that you get out of these kit lenses are just absolutely phenomenal. They really are. These kit lenses are sharper than any of the F-mount prime lenses I've used in the past. Hands down, it's just unbelievable how good the colour rendition, everything is out of these lenses, and that's down to the ZMount system. So I'm really excited to see what's going to come down the line. I know they haven't been as fast as other manufacturers being able to churn out new lenses. That's because they're creating a brand new system that's going to be optically superior to many other camera brands on the market. So Nikon are going to stay ahead of the game with the Z-mount series. That I'm super excited for, and that I'm 100% positive that they will be on top once again further down the line with absolutely superior optics in front of these cameras. It's a fantastic camera. There is no bad camera on the market today. I think what you're getting with the Z6, with the Z6 Mark II for that price is absolutely mind blown. It is just unbelievable, and it's such an easy and fun camera to use, and it makes the whole process easy and allows you just to focus on the work and not the camera. Now, I have been a big fan of Nikon for a long time, but I've also used Canon, Olympus, Fuji. I've used them all, and they're all fantastic cameras. Like I said, there's not a bad camera on the market today, so there's no reason to be hating on all of these camera companies and the limitations that the cameras give people, because the only limitation is the person who is using the camera. So there you go, folks. That is my 5 reasons why I've pre-ordered the Nikon Z6 Mark II. Really excited to get my hands on it. As soon as I do, I will put some tests out there, mainly on the autofocusing in video and in stills. I'm really excited to test that out. Once I do, I'll share that with you guys. If you want to see those videos, consider subscribing and flicking the notification bell so you know when they will be coming up. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. See you then.